Mike Attic. I like the, when we talk about spiritual awakening, we can have a meeting that gets all esoteric and everybody talking about their God and whether or not he has a robe or a biker jacket, and rides a Harley and all these things. But the thing about it is that I like the real simple definition that the 12 and 12 talks about when it describes what a spiritual awakening is. And it's something that really, I think, will keep us out of the mire of that type of discussion. Plus, anybody can comprehend it. And it talks about on the first page, toward the bottom of the 12th step in the 12 and 12, it said, what does a spiritual awakening mean? It says it amounts to we're able to do, feel, and believe that which we could not do on our own strength unaided. We're able to do, feel, and believe that which we could not do on our own strength unaided. So the real question becomes, how long does it take to be able to do, feel, and believe that which I could not do on my own strength unaided? First, I have to acknowledge that I'm being assisted, that I'm not taking credit for all of it. So if I say, well, God's working in my life, he's given me a sense of direction, but I'm doing some footwork, I'm doing my part, but God's going to do his, we've always heard God's not going to do for us what God's going to do for us what we can't do for ourselves. But here's what's left out. He's not going to do for us what we can. And what we can do, what I can do, is work these steps and work this program that's put in front of me. So when does this happen? What does the step say? It says, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps. It did not say as the result of the previous 11 steps, which would imply I have to have worked all of those before I can even get this. No, it says these steps. It didn't say which one. It didn't say how many. Meaning, I could get it any time in that continuum. And I can say, wow, you know what? Like the example was given, I've got 90 days. Certainly, I'm able to do, feel, and believe that which I could not have done on my own strength unaided. A perfect example of that definition in action, right? If I can simply acknowledge that, wow, I've got 90 days. There ain't no damn way I was going to pull that shit off when I was running the show myself. 61 and 62 in the big book. I was the director and the actor. Me acknowledging that, man, God's helped me get 90 days. This is great. I hear myself say that God has helped me. I acknowledge his presence and he has helped me. And it's not been all me, because I can send myself the message. It's all me. I'm going to take all the credit. And the next thing I knew, I'm hollering later to all of y'all. See, so I keep coming back after all these years, acknowledging these things. Sometimes I need to hear myself say, God's helped me get here. Because, I don't know about y'all, but, God did not go and take the bar exam for me. He did not take the CPA exam. He wasn't at home studying for all the shit that I've done. He wasn't getting my 5 world records in Halo. He wasn't winning that city championship in my APA pool league, my recovery league. But you know what? He gave me the strength and direction to act right so I could take advantage of the gifts and talents that God gave me. And I need to hear myself say that. So we can get caught into the loop because we don't hear God speaking to us. Now, if you're hearing somebody speak to you, you need to go to the doctor. And they will put you on some shit, okay? But here's the thing. How do we rectify this seeming problem? Is I was locked into the idea that I've got to hear God speak to me or he ain't speaking. And that is just inaccurate. Because the truth of the matter is, before I broke in that house in 1984 to steal some money, to get some more stuff, there was a little voice that said, Mike, this is a damn bad idea. I don't believe I'd do that. That was God speaking to me. And page 55 in the Agnostic says no different. It says, deep down within every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. It may be obscured by pomp or worship of other things, but in some form it is there. And the way I look at it is that fundamental idea of right and wrong was that voice that I heard. That I said, I hear you, but I'm not going to heed you. That means act on what I heard. I hear you, but I'm being driven by another voice, and we will holler. And so what I do, I busted up in there and got my shit. So this idea of a spiritual awakening is nothing more than giving the voice that's always been there a bigger chance. Listening to it, hearing it, and then heeding it, meaning I'm acting on it. And the more I feed this type of behavior, the more I feed the spiritual life, the more I come in here and hear things that I need to be acting like, instead of getting with my thug friends and say, yeah, let's go rob a store. This is so cool. I can get with the wrong sponsors in life. I had them sponsors, okay? I need a sponsor for this life. And as long as I stay here and I feed this more, that voice will get louder. It's just logical. If I've got two puppies, the one I'm feeding the most is the one is going to get bigger. Newcomers seem to miss this. They come 60 or 90 days and it's where did they fucking go? Because they got the license back and she's talking to them again and they think the problem's solved. No, the problem has just begun because you just realized it wasn't the dope and then you stopped your work before it got better. Let's talk about protection and direction. It was touched on. I think it's important to expound on it. I think it was very clever, what was talked about the rod and the staff. The original third step said care and direction, and it came from that scripture in the Bible. Thy rod and thy staff that comfort me comes from Dr. Bob and the Good Old Timers. That's where he got that phrase. That's where it comes from. That's what it was designed to mean. And then some cat convinced him to take the word direction out of step 3. It blew the whole meaning of the entire thing. Now it just says care. It's no wonder newcomers think, oh, I'm just going to let Big G do it all. After all, step 3 just says he's going to care for it. I ain't got shit to do with it. They took the word direction out, meaning they took my entire part away. And it ain't even in the step no more. That's where rod and the staff comes from me. That's where care and direction comes. That's why Bill on 13 was talking about care and direction, because that's what the step said in its original form. That's the kind of message I need to be getting from step 3, that I play a part in my recovery. That he's going to do for me what I can't. He's not going to do for me what I can. I need to follow his direction, i.e. I need to listen to that voice that I never listened to. That's all part of what it means to have a spiritual awakening. Every single word I've said is part and parcel of the definition. Do you feel me? Because I'm describing the thought processes that go into it. The spiritual awakening is not, oh, I'm so close with God and He does it all. The spiritual awakening is realizing that I can play a part and have a say in the rest of my life and the direction it takes with God's help. That's very heartening and helpful. To realize that I can play a part and have a say, that I'm not floating helplessly like a sailboat with no sail, just at the whim of whatever. No, I can have a say. And on a daily basis when I come in here and I do these things, I am saying where I want to go. I am saying the direction I want to stay on. I am saying that I acknowledge God is helping me do, feel, and believe that which I could not do on my own strength unaided. And I believe in the care and direction. Regardless of why they took the word out, I could spend 10 minutes in telling you who it was and why they took it out and all that bullshit. But it doesn't matter. What the point is what the step said. And now that they took that out, the complete message is bombed. But once you know it's supposed to be there, it's up to me to pick up that original message and realize what it was supposed to say. And realize I play a part. And if I go get high, there ain't nobody to blame but me, because I failed to follow directions. Because they're clear. And they're so much easier than them directions that I was following from that other voice. It's so much harder to stay out there than it is to stay in here. I'll pass.